Ajo Anantaya Nitaya Shuddhaya Ajo Anantaya Nitaya Shuddhaya Satchidananda Guru Satchidananda Guru 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 Satchidananda Guru Satchidananda Guru Namo Narayanaya Hari Hari Shashi Shekharaya Namo Narayanaya Hari Hari Shashi Shekharaya Parabrahma Ananda Guru Om Parabrahma Ananda Guru Om Satchidananda Nanda Guru Satchidananda Nanda Guru Shiva Om 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 Satchidananda Nanda Guru Satchidananda Nanda Shiva Shakti Om 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 Satchidananda Nanda Shakti Om Satchidananda Nanda Guru Namo Narayanaya Hari Hari Shashi Shekharaya Namo Narayanaya Hari Hari Shashi Shekharaya Parabrahma Ananda Guru Om Parabrahma Ananda Guru Om Satchidananda Nanda Guru Satchidananda Nanda Guru Satchidananda Nanda Guru Ajo Anantaya Nityaya Shuddhaya Ajo Anantaya Nityaya Shuddhaya Satchidananda Guru Satchidananda Guru 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 Satchidananda Guru Satchidananda Guru 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 Narayanaya Om Guru Guru Narayanaya Om Guru Guru Narayanaya Om Guru Guru Narayanaya Karuna Kripamaya मेरे गुरु तुम करुणा कृपामय मेरे गुरु तुम ब्रह्मा शिव हरि नारायण तुम ब्रह्मा शिव हरि नारायण तुम गुरु 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 नारायणाय ओम गुरु Guru Narayanaya Guru Om Guru Guru Narayanaya Om Guru Guru Narayanaya Guru Om Guru Guru Narayanaya Gangeyo Narayanai Om Guru Narayanaya Akhanda Mangalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. All together. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari. All together. Om.
Welcome to Satsang. Such a joy to come together from the holy banks of Mother Ganga with you in your rooms, in your homes, across the world, to have this beautiful opportunity to be together.
So the first question that has come in, Pujya Sadhviji, is if we have to live our lives according to karma, then what's the role of God in human life?
If we have to live our lives according to karma, then what's the role of God in our lives? Well, it's very clear what the role of God is not. The role of God is not, oh dear God, I planted an apple seed. Could you please give me oranges out of it? Oh dear God, I didn't study for my math test. I went out and partied with my friends instead. But could you give me an A anyway? Oh dear God, I don't like to work. I sleep in. I'm lazy. But could you make me a millionaire anyway? I don't want to do anything. I don't actually want to work. I don't want to be effective in any way. I don't want to try in any way. I just want to sit on the couch and eat potato chips and watch TV. But hey, God, I'd really like to be a millionaire. That's not the role of God. And so it's not about, oh, well, if we have karma, what role does God play? As though somehow God's role were to negate our karma. As though somehow God's role were to make us know the answers on the math exam when we didn't study, or give us the money even when we don't work, or give us the oranges even when we've planted an apple seed. God doesn't have a role. God just is. Everything is God. The law of karma is one of the laws created by God. So is the law of gravity. It would be like saying, well, if the law of gravity always works, and if I walk off this rooftop, I'm going to fall to the ground, what's the point of God? You would think, well, God's role is not to undo the law of gravity. Gravity is science. God is God. In the same way, the law of karma is science. And again, God is God. Now, on a practical level, though, the role of God in our specific lives, even though God is not going to be there and be the one to say, oh, don't worry, you planted an apple seed, I'll give you oranges, don't worry. Being connected to God is actually that which enables us to take whatever is coming in our lives with grace, with peace, with joy, with gratitude. The role of connection to God in our lives is not to be dependent upon the oranges from the apple seed or the millions of dollars, even though I haven't worked. The connection to God is that which fills me with a sense of fullness and completeness, wholeness. Even when there's apples growing out of my apple seed. Even when there's nothing coming in because there's nothing. Or even when I am putting it out, I am working, I am trying. Still, I'm not making millions. What I'm wanting to happen isn't happening. The role of God is not to make what I want to happen happen. We don't connect to God because God has a magic wand. We connect to God. Through connecting to God, we have the possibility, the opportunity to experience who we are. We have the opportunity to connect with truth, to expand into truth, into love, into our highest purpose, our highest being, our highest truth. We connect to God in love, not as a contract. It's not about, hey, what are you going to do for me, God? It's not about a real, karmic situation here. Could you just give me a get out of free card, God? It's not that. It's, hey, God, in the ups and in the downs, in the joys and the sorrows, in the gains and in the losses, you are the one who is there with me. You are the one holding my hand. Hey God, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being in me. Thank you for being me. Thank you for your divine presence. That's the role of God. So yeah, karma exists. Like gravity exists. The minute we understand how science works, we're able to navigate it. We understand gravity works, so we don't jump off the building. We don't play too close to the edge. Similarly, we understand how karma works. So if what we want are oranges, we don't plant apple seeds and then expect that God is going to come in and change it. But that's separate. That's not our spiritual awakening. That's the science of our life. That's the package of our life. God's role, the presence of God, is that into which we merge in truth.
Puja Sadhviji, there was another question that came in about how to deal with the loss of a loved one who has committed suicide. And also relating to suicide, how does it relate to karma? And what ramifications does suicide have on the karmic package?
So, one of the most difficult parts of loving someone is the fact that they don't always do what we want. In fact, they very rarely tend to do what we want. One of the greatest complaints that parents have of their children, children have of their parents, spouses have of each other, is that they don't do what I want. Now, sometimes it's little nothing things. Sometimes it's about how we load the dishwasher, how we separate whites from colors in the washing machine, how we drive the car. Sometimes it's these tiny little things that we learn, hopefully, very quickly in our lives to allow, to choose peace, to choose love, instead of worrying so much about how the dishwasher is loaded or how the washing machine is loaded or which lane we drive in. But sometimes the things that our loved ones do are much deeper. And sometimes that sense of betrayal, of them not doing what we want or doing what we don't want, is much deeper. We see this in cases of alcoholism. We see this in cases of drug abuse. We see this in cases when a loved one, we're watching them make choice after choice after choice that we know is harming them, that we know is detrimental for them and their lives. And we may try, and we do try, over and over to get them to stop the alcohol, to stop the drugs, to stop ruining or harming their lives in so many ways. But as most of us have learned, it's deeply difficult, if not impossible. And when you take it to something like suicide, you take it really to the far end of the spectrum, because of course with suicide, you've even lost not only the person, but you've lost any possibility of hope, of faith, that you will be able to get them to see, to think, to live the way you want them to. And so having a loved one commit suicide is at least a double, if not a triple tragedy. The first tragedy, of course, is we've lost the loved one. We experience that whether they die from suicide, from an accident or an illness, or naturally after a very, very, very long life. In all of those cases, we have the tragedy of losing the loved one. But in suicide, we have these other two double whammy tragedies with a suicide. And the first tragedy is that almost insatiable yearning to understand if I just could have done something differently. It's almost an unstopping, a ceaseless, an incessant disease that comes in our own minds. If only I had, or if only I hadn't. If just I had said this, or not said that, or done this, or not done that, then maybe I might have been able to stop them. And it's so important to realize that we do not have any control over someone else's karmic package. It's not about what we say or what we do. As so many people who have tried to help loved ones overcome depression, overcome suicidal thoughts, overcome addiction, overcome misery. It's not about what you say or do. It has to come from within them. The whole healing from depression, healing from misery, healing from suicidal tendencies is part of a very deep karmic package that person has. It's not about what you say or do. So do not ever feel guilty. No one can make someone do that. And then, of course, you've got the third triple whammy, which I mentioned before, which is the sense of loss of hope. If you're just dealing with someone who's struggling with depression, struggling with suicidal thoughts, struggling with alcoholism or drug addiction, there's always this sense that maybe tomorrow I'll be able to change them. Maybe just this intervention or that intervention will work. But with suicide, that hope is gone also. And so the way to deal with it is, number one, we mourn the loss the same way that we always mourn the loss. Number two, we do not allow ourselves to feel guilty. Everyone comes in with their own karmic package. In the same way that parents shouldn't feel guilty about choices that their children make in life. In the same way, we can't feel guilty about the choices our loved ones make. Every one of us has to manage our own karmic package. But number three, realize it's not actually over. They're going to come back. Suicide is not a way of getting rid of the karma. Suicide just delays having to deal with it. So if I commit suicide in this life, I'm just going to have to come back in my next life and repeat it. Repeat the lessons that I was running away from, along with a whole new karmic package of the fact that I actually violated the most precious gift in the universe, which was this human birth. So all of the karmic package that I had that was leading me to depression and misery, that's going to come with me again. Suicide does not free us, just gives us a new body to deal with the same stuff, but now compounded by also the karma of having taken this precious gift, this home of God, and destroyed it. So it's never an answer. Whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're suffering from, just know the sun will rise tomorrow. No matter how dark the night is tonight, the sun will rise tomorrow. No matter how stormy it is today, the sun will rise tomorrow. The world is not as narrow as you think it is. When we're depressed, we see the world like this. That which I'm depressed about, the world of my mind that I'm depressed in. It feels all pervasive. It feels like this is everything. And it feels permanent. It will always be like this. So it's everywhere, it's everything, and it's always. And you need to realize it is not all pervasive, and it is not permanent. There are places, there are things you can do, there are ways through the depression. And in the shifting sands of time, as the chemistry and the electricity of your brain shifts, as the days and the nights of your life shift, so will the emotions in your mind. And remember, there are people there for you. Reach out to them. That is your strength. When you feel like you have no strength, reach out to others and recognize they are your strength. And if you have no others, do not worry. You have God. Reach out to God as your strength. The sun will rise tomorrow on you and for you. But for now, in that dark night, reach out. Reach out to those who can give you a hand, give you some light, or at least just give you a lap to be in during this time of darkness.
How do we go deep, and how do we go past the veil of Maya?
Past the veil of
Maya.
So, the veil of Maya operates on so many levels. Maya is outside. Maya is illusion. That's what it means, the illusion. But it's not just like a veil on the outside world. It's not like taking drugs, taking hallucinogens, and suddenly the world is moving in different ways or different colors. It's not that. It's not that type of veil. It's a veil of the way that I interact with the outer world. Maya exists in my understanding of the outer world, of the illusory way that I am attracted to the outer world. So, for example, I can close my eyes and Maya is still there. I can pull a sheet over my head and Maya is still there. I can put on a pair of, an eye mask and Maya is still there. So it's not just in the outer world. Maya is in how I interact with that outer world. And the only way to go deep is to change the way that I am seeing, to change my vision, rather than allowing my vision to be covered with the veil. Maya says, look at me over here. Look at how glittery and beautiful I am. Look at this world of money. Look at this world of fame. Look at this world of possessions. Look at this world of sensual pleasures. Maya's over here saying, look at me. Come toward me. Enjoy me. Taste me. I'm wonderful. I'm the pleasures. That's the allure of Maya. But along with that, the illusion is, and you are separate from me. I'm over here, all the pleasures, the enjoyment. You are separate. And I'm going to pull you toward me. I'm going to fill you with desire for me. That's the allure of this wily Maya. And she operates in the illusion that A, who I am already is not enough, that my greatest joy and bliss doesn't come from within, that there is separation in the world, that which I want, that which I need, is out there somewhere in the glittery world of pleasures and enjoyment, or the glittery world of prosperity. That somehow I am separate from my own fullness, that I am separate from joy. The way to be free of that veil of Maya, it's always trying to distract us over here. Look at me, look at me, look at me. The way to do that is we drop deeply inward into the place that is truth. If Maya is illusion, falsehood, the antidote to that is truth. So instead of trying to push away Maya, my role is not to stand over here and to say, go away, get away, get away. But just to stand over here. I can see her dancing over there. I can see her playing her games. I can see that glittery, dancey, alluring presence. But I recognize that like the pool of water in the desert, it's a mirage. Looks very beautiful from a distance. But the closer you get to it, thinking, now I'm going to get what I want. Now I'm getting what I want. Now I'm close to this achievement. It gets farther and farther and farther. And if you find yourself just ready to pounce on it and really grab it and get it, you realize, it never actually existed. And that's where in this world of Maya, it's never enough. No matter how much money we make, no matter how much pleasure we have, no matter how much enjoyment, no matter how much success or fame or beauty, it's never enough. That's Maya's game. It's like you never can get right up to that pool of water in the desert. it's just going to keep pulling you closer and closer as you lose your last bit of life breath, as you lose your last bit of life force, trying to get there to that pool in the desert. And at the very end, it dissipates into the world of illusion from which it came. And so the way around that is that we actually see the truth. We actually find the truth, because when I can see the truth, I'm not allured by an illusion. You can't trick me if my eyes are open. If I'm blindfolded, you can trick me, but not if my eyes are open. You can convince me that that rope on the ground is a snake if the lights are off. But the minute the lights are on, you no longer can convince me that that rope is a snake. And so in our spiritual practice, we turn on the lights. We really courageously look at the truth. Even when it's not fun, even when it's not nearly as glittery or alluring as Maya, but we look at it. And in that truth we find a peace and a fullness and a joy that makes all of the allure of Maya not have any hold on us. It's almost like we get covered with, beautiful ghee or something, and so nothing can actually stick to us because we've seen the truth. So whether it's through your meditation, your introspection, your scriptural study, whatever your introspective spiritual practice may be, use that. Use that to go within and find the truth. And you can always start with the very simple way of just, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Because if I'm lacking, I need something from outside. If I'm not enough, I need something. But when I really experience the fullness of who I am, then Maya's got nothing for me. There's nothing Maya can offer me that's worth pulling me out of the truth of the self. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening.